Welcome to the National Stadium in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. It is Malaysia versus Japan, a crucial game in terms of qualifying for the 2012 Olympics in London. Japan seem to have qualification all sewn up, but a 2-1 defeat to Syria has seen them slip down into second place in the table, although the good news for Japan is that Syria were beaten in Bahrain yesterday. It means that a victory here for the Japanese would put them within just a point of qualifying for the Olympic Games again for the 6th successive time. Mohamed Al Zarouni of the United Arab Emirates is the referee here. Malaysia's hopes of reaching a first Olympic Games football tournament well and truly over. They've lost all 4 of their group stage matches, scoring 3 and conceding 9. Hence the rather less than full stadium inside the Kuala Lumpur grounds. Well, 8 of the starting 11 were involved in the Southeast Asian final win against Indonesia back in November for Malaysia, a competition they've won for the last 2 years in succession. Although Badrul, who scored the winning penalty in the shootout, and Azra Rudin, who scored the Malaysian goal in that game, are both missing from the starting 11. The stadium may not be full, but it will be loud. The Malaysian crowds are well known for their enthusiasm and fabulous support. Well, Japan, of course, are the Asian champions at full international level. And before the age limit was introduced in 1992, a side who reached the Olympic quarterfinals way back in 1936 and claimed a bronze medal in '68. It's a Japanese side that's had a fairly settled back four and midfield. Gengi Haraguchi, though, who's missed a few games of qualifying because of being called into the full national squad, is in the starting 11. Kensuke Nagai is on the bench, despite his goal in Syria last time out in Japan's surprising defeat 2 weeks ago. Well, Bahrain, with that victory over Syria yesterday, have given themselves an outside shot of qualification. Remember, there's 3 groups of 4 in this Asian qualifying zone. And it is the group winners who qualify automatically. The 3 groups in the 3 sides who finish second in their groups will return to Malaysia for a playoff to decide who will go through and take on Senegal, the 4th placed African team, for the 16th and remaining qualification berth. Free kick then to Malaysia in the yellow strip, Japan in the traditional dark blue. Header away by Suzuki for Japan, up to Sakai. Really can ill afford, no mistakes now, Japan, after that slip up in Syria. Had won all 3 of their qualification matches until that defeat. Zubir for Malaysia. Now Fadli. Hamada. It's picked up by Nazmi. There's a nation that's desperate to improve at international level, Malaysia. Didn't even enter Olympic qualifying until 1992. Japan have qualified for the last 4 Olympics. Their last failure to qualify was indeed in '92. Haven't performed particularly well when they've got there. They've exited in the group stage of '96, 2004 and 2008. He's very much the star of this side, Genki Haraguchi. Mahali. It's back with Sakai. Japanese throw. Really couldn't have had a better boost than Bahrain's victory over Syria. Has put qualification very much back in their own hands. Haraguchi. Played in behind again, looking for the run of Yuya Osako. Touchdown by Yamaguchi. One back though by Mohamed Fandi. Mighty roar whenever Malaysia win possession of the ball. Japan came out on top 2-0 when they met in Japan first time around. It is Nazmi. They're looking for the run of Tamil. Gonda happy to see that behind though for a goal kick. Well, all the players in both squads play their football locally in Japan and in Malaysia. Not a great exporter of players, it has to be said, Malaysia, but that's something that will improve, of course, as the standard of the game improves. It's a good turn by Osako. Pulled it across and it was cleared away by Nazmi. Now Higashi. Fandi getting across though to win it for Malaysia. Yamaguchi has it back. Sakai's cross in, it's been missed by a couple of defenders and then safely through to Kairul. Header by Hamada. Now Yamaguchi. Ogihara. Chase on here for Haraguchi. Seemed to be shoved in the back there by Mohamed Amer, but very happy to allow play to go on. Well, their only victories did come in the pre-group stage of qualifying. They beat Pakistan 2-0 on aggregate, and Lebanon 2-1 on aggregate in two closely fought encounters. The level steps up dramatically when you do get into the group stages. Suzuki clears for Japan. Saito. Haraguchi. He's been in the Aurora Reds first team, Haraguchi, since he was 18. A couple of full international caps to his name as well, Haraguchi. And he really could make a name for himself at the Olympic Games worldwide if Japan were to make it there. Victory here would see them 3 points ahead of Syria going into their final home match, which would be against Bahrain. Nazmi. Too much pace on that for Ahmed Shakir to get after. Yamaguchi. Now Hamada. Ogihara fending off the challenge. This is Hamada. Well, that's good work from Saito to win it back. Space here maybe to work the ball in for Japan. Higashi. Kairo with the save. Effort in the end from Manabu Saito. Sat up nicely, didn't it, for the turn and shots. Too close to the goalkeeper. Zakaria wins the free kick for Malaysia, which is quickly taken by Nazmi. And that was a poor final ball from Faisal. It's been in good form, this Japanese team. They've won 7 out of the last 9 matches. It was always going to be their toughest game away in Syria. Would have been happy with a draw, keeping themselves in pole position, but Syria's win put them top of the table, which has now subsequently changed because the points and goal difference were the same between they and Japan. But with Syria's defeat, they have slipped behind Japan on goal difference, putting Japan top without playing going into this game. Need just a draw to stay there. Higashi. Now Haraguchi. Off target. So a lively forward line with Higashi, Haraguchi and Saito in behind Yuya Osako, the out-and-out striker. So taking a deflection on the way through. It is a corner for Japan. Haraguchi making himself known to Kairul, the Malaysian goalkeeper. Headed away by Mohamed Amer. Higashi's throw. Saito looking for space. Picked up by Haraguchi. The cross in from Ogihara. Oh, and the header should have been comfortable for the goalkeeper from Osako, but needed to grab it at the second attempt, Kairul. Certainly a decent ball in by Ogihara to pick out the head of Osako. Ogihara. Well, that's a free kick, a foul on Zakaria. And perhaps already a final warning for Takehiro Ogihara. Gave him the benefit of the doubt that he was going for the ball for the challenge on Zakaria. Here's Nazmi. Now Mahali. Zakaria. Taken away by Higa. Sako chasing the loose ball. Now Amer. Nonchalant flick really by Yusuke Higa. And he's given possession away. This is Fandi. Now Faisal. Shakir with a touchdown and Fandi's effort off target. Half a chance for Malaysia, all born out of Yusuke Higa's poor clearance. Lazy clearance in truth. Fandi's effort well wide of Shuichi Gonda's goal. Zubair. Ihara. Immediately under pressure from Nazmi. They're working hard, Malaysia, as they have to do to avoid being overrun by this talented Japanese side. Conveyor belt of talent just doesn't stop. Of course, you see it with us regularly here on Eurosport 2 with the J-League. Sakai. Haraguchi. Oh, the whistle's gone. And The Aurora Reds forward has been penalised. Tug round the back of Mahali. So a free kick for Malaysia. Still struggling to make his mark, Haraguchi, in this game. Well, he should be okay, Mahali. Something and nothing really from Haraguchi, just a tug round the back, whether he's landed a bit awkwardly or not. He does seem to be in a bit of pain there, Mahali. You do wonder if the game is over for him. Wong Kim Sui, the Malaysian coach, may have a bit of juggling around to do. Well, Nazmi has been lively in the Malaysian midfield early on here. Header away by Suzuki. Fadley's header out towards Fandi. Well, they want a free kick for the challenge of Sakai. The referee certainly not interested. Sakai. Ogihara to Yamaguchi. Now Higa. Ogihara again. Now Hamada. Sakai. Japan keeping possession, as you'd suspect they would. Haraguchi. Nice flick to get away from the initial challenge. And did well. This is Osako. Cross in from Osako. They're almost lining it up here for Yamaguchi. Stabbed away by Faisal and then driven back in, and it's a good save by Cairel. Really good strike from Hiroki Sakai, the right back, and a lovely attack from Japan. Sat invitingly for the shot, didn't it? And Carroll did well because the strike from Sakai came through a crowd of players and took a deflection. Decent save, that. Now the ball's fed back in, though. Sako rising for the header. Oh, and that could have ended up anywhere. Haraguchi was the closest to getting a touch. But Malaysia survived that Japanese onslaught. Already in the opening 16 minutes, you can see the extra quality that Japan certainly have in their ranks. Yamaguchi had spotted the run of Osako, but couldn't pick him out with the pass. Ball by Fadley. And the flag up against Ahmed Shakir. Kim Sui, former Malaysian international himself, won 5 caps at full international level and was part of the Olympic qualifying squad as well. Is Higa. The bad ball in again towards Higashi. The movement of the Japanese forward line is always so impressive. Saito and Higashi switching around Osako, the main focal point, and Haraguchi buzzes around everywhere and creates. And now we are getting a change for Malaysia, and it is Mahali who's coming off. Well, it's not fairly innocuous, the incident when he was caught by Haraguchi, but he is replaced by Afizi Faiza. And that is not ideal, really, for Malaysia, to lose one of their back four inside the opening 20 minutes. Hamada. Malaysian throw. Maybe just playing for pride here, Malaysia, but what pride they would take in a victory against Japan at any level. Given away by Faisal. Now Osako. It's too much pace on the ball. Couple of saves to make so far. Particularly good one from Hiroki Sakai. Now Fandi. Early ball in from Fandi. Suzuki with the header away, though, for Japan. Slack from Haraguchi. Here's Fadley. Ball over the top to Chase, but all the way through for Gonda. Ogihara. Haraguchi. Nice touch towards Higashi. The space here now for Higa. And what a waste that was from Yasuki Higa. Had the option to take it on himself and shoot, or pick somebody out in the centre. In the end, he did neither. Left back from Yokohama F. Marinos, capable of much better. Where's Shakir chasing that one? Malaysia have a throw. Well, their final match is away to Syria, so it's the last chance for the fans here to see the Olympic side in action at home. Faisal. Suzuki clears. Fadley. Ogihara. Now Haraguchi. Sako again, just looking a bit isolated there in between Fadley and Ahmed. Now this is a substitute, Afizi Faisal. It's a Japanese throw. You really haven't been put under any kind of pressure yet in the opening 22 minutes here. It's Hamada. It's going to be a throw for Malaysia. One or two passes have been going astray for Japan. Hangover perhaps from that Syrian defeat a fortnight ago. Will be kicking themselves, Syria, won't they? Beating Japan. Far and away the toughest challenge in this group, and then losing to Bahrain. They're a decent side themselves, in fairness. I mean, Bahrain are a country, remember, who's gone right to the edge of qualifying for the last 2 World Cups at full international level. Suzuki. Kihara. Hamada, just carrying the ball too far and running into trouble. This is Zakaria. Again, doesn't have too much support, has to go it alone. And wins the free kick. Was left to plough the lone furrow there, wasn't he? Nobody really made any moves off him. And he was just running deeper and deeper into more and more blue shirts. It's about the best he could have hoped for, and it was a rather silly challenge from Ogihara. There was no need to do that. He wasn't going anywhere. Zakaria. Plenty of defensive cover. Midway through the first half, still Malaysia 0, Japan 0. It's quite a way out. It would take some strike to trouble Shuichi Gonda from here. Fans amassed on that far side, you can see at the top of your screen though. You'll certainly be hoping they can trouble him. And it's driven high and over. Never looked as though it was coming back down for Zakaria, the player who won the free kick and took it. Header by Mohamed Ahmed. Sarko's header. Knocked away by Afizi Faisal. Higa. Suzuki. Stepping away from the challenge of Tamil. That's going to be a free kick. Fans and referee not happy with Saito's challenge. And the yellow card is out. Manabu Saito, the first booking of the game. And you can understand why. He's taken a fair bit of the pitch as well as the man. Zubir, thankfully, is on his feet again and okay. Solid header from Hamada. Zubir to Nazmi. Yamaguchi, though, stepping in. This is Saito. Blocked away by Fadley. And Sakai with the throw. Desperate to get that first goal, Japan, just to settle themselves down. Oh, almost a mistake from Shuichi Gonda. Tamil very nearly closing him down. He's had a quiet game so far, Tamil. Hasn't really had the service to...
WTA Dubai, today, live on Eurosport 2.
Hit long from Gonda. Zubir. And now Suzuki. Have to be careful not to be caught in possession by Fandi. Too much pace on that for Higashi. Just not quite coming off yet for Japan. One or two passes going astray. A few lapses of concentration as well. Malaysia so far unable to take advantage. Japan still with the greater quality. There's Nazmi. Now Tamil. It's held off though, and Suzuki can clear. Left-hand ball against Higashi. Couldn't do an awful lot about it. You can understand why it was given. Mohamed Amer over this, the central defender. Higa's header. And Zakaria just unable to pick it up. He's seen plenty of the ball, actually. Zakaria, the wide right midfielder for Malaysia. He cannot afford to mess around like this at the back. Khairul clears. Haraguchi's header. Miss Higa. Ogihara. Japan have the quality to perhaps get away with one or two lapses in this game, but Malaysia don't. They have to be fully focused and 100% to stand any chance of taking something from the game. Haraguchi. Now Higashi. Clipped in by Higa. Easily claimed by Khairul. One or two shirts you may recognise amongst the Malaysian crowd, big fans of the English Premier League. Hamada. Now Ogihara. Haraguchi. Amer stepping away with it. Nice touch to Zakaria from Irfan Faisal. Shakir. Flag up for a foul against the Malaysian striker. Ogihara. 5 defensive players, or the 6 defensive players rather, for Japan. Yamaguchi and Ogihara, the 2 holding midfielders. The back 4 of Sakai, Suzuki, Hamada and Higa pretty much remained unchanged throughout these qualifiers. Here's Osaka going for goal. It was a nice idea. It did sit up for the lob. Just couldn't get it between the posts, though. Well, it was certainly on what he attempted. It just sort of came off the outside of the foot and perhaps just at the bottom of the shin. Hence the lack of accuracy. Certainly wasn't a clean strike from Yuya Osaka. Zubir. And again. Cleared by Hamada towards Yamaguchi. Now Osako. Space here for Haraguchi. Luckily for Malaysia, he trod on the ball and that cost him a bit of momentum. Knee back heel towards Higa. The referee has given Malaysia a free kick there for the challenge of Higa, which I thought was a bit harsh. Well, I suppose he's nudged him. I thought it was shoulder to shoulder initially, but the referee deciding to give Malaysia the benefit of the doubt. Well, it's been a decent opening half an hour for them. They'll be happy. 0-0 with Japan, who on paper are the strongest team in this group. And a side who will be smarting from that loss to Syria 2 weeks ago. A victory in that game, by the way, would have seen Japan qualify for the Olympics for the 5th time in succession. But the fact they lost the game immediately meant that it would go to the final round of matches. There's one for Shakir to chase. And Suzuki has fallen rather heavily into the advertising hoardings. Shakir going across almost half-heartedly in a way to see if Suzuki was okay. This was very much on here. And just a little shove there from Shakir was enough to send Suzuki into the boards. He's okay though. 12 minutes to half-time, 0-0, corner for Malaysia. An almighty noise if they could grab something from here. Fandi with it. Headed out by Osako. And then the long-range effort drilled back into the crowd, but well wide. Fair to say it was overly ambitious from Irfan Faisal, who's had a decent game in midfield with Nazmi alongside him. Have played a 5-4-1 formation for a lot of these qualifiers. It's more like a 4-4-2 here against Japan. One thing you know with Japan is exactly how they're going to set up. It's always 4-2-3-1. Zakaria. Crossing from Nazmi. Not the best one though, and Sakai with the header away. Now Osako. Sakai has made a charging run forward. Down the outside, it's slipped through the middle towards Haraguchi. Still going, Haraguchi. Sakai! Japan take the lead, and it's the right back, Hiroki Sakai. Well, he was denied by a terrific save from Kairu earlier in the game. But that lung-busting run that he made from right back to get up there and support Haraguchi has reaped dividends there, hasn't it? Cool finish from Hiroki Sakai. And the Kashiwa Reysol right back makes it Malaysia 0, Japan 1. Great work from Haraguchi. And there was still plenty to do there for Sakai. Cool finish though, just slotting the ball away under Kairu. And with 10 minutes left of this first half, just as Malaysia thought they were doing well, Japan have stung them with a fantastic counter. Ogihara. Now Higashi. Yamaguchi. Well, they haven't panicked, Japan. On the lion's share of possession in the opening half an hour. Only really troubled Kairu the once with Sakai's effort that was well saved after a deflection. But they've remained patient. And now Takashi Sekizuka's side have their reward. A win here, remember, would see them 3 points clear of Syria with a game to play. Long-range efforts, wide of Kairu's goal. He's not happy at the fact that Yamaguchi wasn't closed down. They continually allow the Japanese forward line pot shots from there. They're going to pay again sooner or later. Higa. Japan really is the marker for the whole of East Asia, really, to look up to. Pre-J League, they didn't do an awful lot football-wise at world level, but the J League experiment has really worked. The professionalisation of football taking over from the old Japan Soccer League. Japanese national team has certainly benefited. And there's a team now you expect to be at a World Cup, and competitive at that too, twice making it through the group stages now. There's Fandi. pre-90s, they couldn't have dreamt of World Cup qualification, really. It just shows what can be done. Asian champions again after their victory in Qatar last year. Haraguchi challenged by Nazmi. Here by Zubair. Now Osako. Now Sakai. Now Hamada. Given how little pressure Japan have been under, the likes of Sakai and Higa could have a whale of a time, the two fullbacks raiding forward. That's an important foot in, but here's a chance for Malaysia, and Gonda makes the save. Tamil getting away for the first time really in the game, shooting it early before Suzuki could get across. It's the right thing to do. Angle was tight though, and it didn't really have the power to trouble Gonda, who was comfortable in the end. Zubair. Now Amer. This is Yamaguchi. Now Saito. This is Sakai. Sakai again. Well, neat build-up by Japan, and it just didn't fall for Osaka. Pressure building, though, on Malaysia. Opening goal has certainly settled Japan down. Do weave some lovely patterns in and around the edge of the penalty area. And Genki Haraguchi is the main instigator of that. Player, I'm sure, will be playing for Japan at full international level for a long time to come. Five minutes to the break. Can Malaysia get themselves back into it? Ahmed Shakir then goes for goal. Didn't really get it off the ground though, and it's well wide. There's not much imagination, is there, about the Malaysian set pieces? It's just driven straight at goal, no matter how far out it is. You need to get a better strike on the ball than that. Hasn't dampened the spirits of the Malaysian supporters. Too high for Osako. Yamaguchi. And again. Suzuki. Came off the head of Haraguchi. It's hacked away by Mohamed Amer. Now Higa. Ogihara. This is Sakai. Well, it's a Malaysian throw. Sakai was readying himself to take it. No, the look from Takashi Sekizuka says it all. Started off lively. Fandi was seeing plenty of it out there on the left. Drifted out of the game though last 20 minutes or so. Let's have Malaysia. Cleared by Hamada. That's a free kick for Japan. Always a tough one to give that. Is it backing in or is the defender jumping in? It's very much always a 50-50 Point in favour of Japan this time. Higashi. Sako was the intended target. This Sakai. Saito. Twisting and turning. It very nearly fell for Higashi. It was Mohamed Amer who cleared it away. Now Sakai. Under pressure from Zubir. Certainly wasn't taking any prisoners with that challenge, Zubir. Yeah, it is a free kick and not a throw. I'm not surprised, given the ferocity of the challenge. Ogihara with it. Dangerous one in. Oh, and it's gone in from Yuya Osako. Japan double their lead, approaching the final minute of the first half. Malaysia 0, Japan 2. Yuya Osako's header from Ogihara's free kick. And it is looking plain sailing now for Takashi Sekizuka's side. It's a good header. Just played into a dangerous area from Ogihara, but Yuya Osako pulled away from his marker. Just got himself enough space to get his head to it. Textbook header as well. The goalkeeper couldn't react. And London seems to be drawing ever nearer for Japan. Shakir. Qualifier at home to Bahrain. They would need just a point from that with a win here. And it may get even better if Japan can rack up the goals. Bahrain and Syria have both won here. 3-2 Bahrain, 2-0 Syria. Japan looking comfortable now. 2 goals in the space of 9 minutes. Hiroki Sakai followed by Yuya Osako. Takashi Sekizuka's team look as though they're returning to winning ways, and they're threatening a third now. Higashi. Cross in again, headed away by Zubir. Fandi. Ahmed Shakir. Haraguchi. Nahiga. Okay. Half-time whistle. Well, the opening half an hour, it was looking a bit testing for Japan. They were difficult to break Malaysia down. Cairo had been forced into just the one save from Sakai. Then the right-back Hiroki Sakai did get the better of Karu on 35 minutes. The game from then. So Japan 45 minutes away from the victory they need. Clear of Syria, top of the table. Remember, at the start of this round of games, they were both level on 9 points and a +4 goals scored. But with that defeat, the hands of Bahrain, Japan moved to the top before kick-off. Ahead. And they would also was better than Syria. This scoreline, Japan would be virtually there, because it would then take heavy defeat for them at home to Bahrain, and Syria. Shit. Very good. So they could win this game, Japan, but there's no doubt that the biggest result for them today is Syria's loss to Bahrain. Good challenge, Haraguchi. Carrying it forward, Haraguchi. Now Osaka. Fit in from Fandy. Higashi. Haraguchi's towards Saito. Now Amer. Shakir. Hammer to stick him. And again, it's help though, in fairness for Ahmed Shakir. Midfield really doesn't get up in support of the forward line when they're attacking Malaysia. Both Tamil and Shakir cut isolated figures in Malaysia attack. The Japanese team. Fadley. Suzuki knocking the ball into touch because of Sun. Plays for the J-League's successful club, Kashima Antlers, Yuya Osaka. Two people that suggest that football shouldn't be in the Olympic Games. Up by some 30 years, 1900. Olympic football tournament. Uruguay hosted the World Cup in 1930. Certainly means an awful lot to the players who get there. A Great Britain team competing. Gold medals in 1908 and 19... Upton Park, the club in that Olympic Games. Many of the places have already been decided. Africa, the host, of course, Great Britain. South Korea could wrap up qualification to be the first team to go through. Brazil and Uruguay have made it through from South America, so successive gold medals. Spain, Switzerland, and then of course the shock, Belarus from Europe. So 9 places taken already, 7 up for grabs. Japan getting awfully close to reaching. 2 goals up here, and it's very difficult, in all fairness, to see where Malaysia can get back into this golfing class between these two sides. Sakai steps away from Zubair. Sakai again, and grabbed by Cairo. They've lost a couple of games now in the Olympic qualifiers. The second leg in Q8 in the 2-legged second round match. Did get through just about 4-3 on aggregate. 2-1 loss to Syria. It seems to be West Asian sides that they've struggled against. Making short work of Malaysia here, though. 2 up, 5 minutes into the second half. And Malaysia struggling to get the ball. Off the leg of Saito. Still they maintain possession, Japan. Haraguchi. Higashi. Spread by Yamaguchi towards Yasuki Higa. Now Haraguchi. Under pressure from Afize Faisal. And wins the free kick. Yeah, just trod on his foot there, you can see that. Faisal studs to the top of the foot. It's a good spot by the referee, it wasn't initially obvious. Now Ogihara played the cross in for Asako to head the Japanese goal before half-time. It's not too dissimilar, this position. Leaves it for Higashi this time, though. Faisal getting his head to it. Haraguchi beaten by Fadley. Well, that would have been spectacular, but it was way, way off target from Hotaru Yamaguchi. From Sakai. Played by Fadley. And Faisal. This is the trouble for Malaysia. The accuracy of passing really isn't there. Tamil and Shakir have been chasing lost causes throughout the game. And it's looked more and more forlorn for them as the game has drawn on. Just 8 minutes gone in the second half, 2 down. To a Japanese side that will fancy their chances of going a long way in the Olympic finals. Reached quarter-finals in 2000. The most recent time that they've come through the group stages, but exited the group stages in the last 2. It's a free kick for Japan. Of course, the women's team will be the real, genuine gold medal hope for Japan, the current world champions. We saw off Germany and the USA to really shake up the established order in women's football in the summer to win the World Cup. Fabulous competition you will have seen with us here on Eurosport. Strong header from Mohamed Amer. Yamaguchi. Now Sakai. Saito. Plenty of yellow shirts back. Sakai with the cross in. It's a good cross. Oh, and Haraguchi has finished it off. It's 3-0 for Japan. And that surely now is all 3 points for the Japanese. Great play again by Hiroki Sakai, the right back who scored the first goal. Well, he's created the third here for Genki Haraguchi. Well, they seem to have everybody back there, Malaysia. No apparent danger, but that was a lovely cross, taking out Kairu, the goalkeeper. And Genki Haraguchi timing his run to perfection. Still had plenty to do to keep that on target. It was an awkward height to finish it off. Malaysia 0, Japan 3. And with 35 minutes still to go, you do worry what the scoreline could end up here for Malaysia. And there was a yellow card being shown here for one of the Japanese players. Well, there was about 5 or 6 of them stood round. It's Yuya Osako. There must have been something that went on during the celebrations. Zakaria, meanwhile, is being replaced for Malaysia. Shairul Ibrahim is the player on to replace him. Second change for Malaysia. Well, this is so comfortable now for Japan, and it's not good viewing if you're a Syrian. Allied to that loss to Bahrain. How frustrating for Syria to get themselves in pole position with that big win over Japan, and then to slip up in your very next game and hand the initiative straight back to Japan, who have really hammered home advantage here. 3 goals up against Malaysia, and plenty of time to add to their goal difference that could prove crucial. It is goal difference and not head-to-head, remember, that separates the sides in the Olympic qualifiers. Sakai. Now Higashi. Sako. Sakai. Another strong challenge, and Sakai wasn't too happy with it. They've certainly not held back on 1 or 2 tackles, the Malaysians. I mean, that was way late. Absolutely amazed that Tamo hasn't been shown the yellow card for that. Yurasako, who was just shown a yellow card after that 3rd goal, is being replaced. Kensuke Nagai is on to replace him. Player who scored Japan's goal in the 2-1 defeat in Syria. He will lead the line in place of Yu Yurasako, who's got his name at least on the score sheet. Is there more injury woe here for Malaysia? Already lost Mahali, remember, the right back early on. Temporarily down to 10, Malaysia, which they could do without. As I say, they're already into damage limitation. Japan know the more goals they score here, the easier qualification becomes. Yamaguchi. Sakai. Haraguchi. Now Higa. Driven at goal. Oh, Saito has a tap in, and it's 4 for Japan. 2 goals in the space of a few minutes. And it is Malaysia 0, Japan 4. Manabu Saito won't score an easier goal. Well, there's a real danger of this getting embarrassing now for Malaysia. Shot was spilled. Haraguchi may have been initially in an offside position, as was Higashi. But Saito most definitely wasn't. And that is 4 for Japan. Still with half an hour to go. And they're threatening more already. Nagai. Higashi. Nagai, not too far away. Goodness me, it was nearly 5. And Kensuke Nagai very nearly getting in on the act within seconds of coming. Here's Suzuki. Now Haraguchi. Chance to run at them again. Faisal. Well, it's opened up maybe for another chance here, but Saito was just on his heels as Higashi tried to slide the ball through. Higashi. Sakai. Sakai's cross in, it's headed behind by Fadley. Could be a very long last half an hour for Malaysia. First time they've conceded 4 in these qualifiers. Certainly getting the backlash, aren't they, of Japan's defeats. Another Japanese corner. They've barely got out of their half in the second half, Malaysia. Higashi will deliver. It's a low delivery this time. Higashi again. Japan tried to pick their way through. Haraguchi. Sakai's cross. Haraguchi was the target. Fadley's header away. There was a shot on there. Mohamed Amer blocking it. This is Yamaguchi. Under pressure from Ahmed Shakir. That's a foul on Kazuya Yamamura. Yamamura. Haraguchi. Lifted in again by Yamamura. Haraguchi hanging around on the edge of the penalty area waiting for the knockdown, but Malaysia defending frantically, sometimes over frantically. Fizi Faisal giving away the latest free kick. Well, at least it should have been a free kick. And Japan took it quickly and then gave it away. Subir. And gathered by Gonda. It's Higa. Yamamura. It's a sack. Suzuki. Yamaguchi. Suzuki again. Haraguchi's been a real tormentor of Malaysia. Cross was too deep though. Saito couldn't get there to keep it in. At least they've steadied the boat a little bit, Malaysia. I mean, when Haraguchi and Saito scored 2 goals in 5 minutes to take the score up to 4-0, you wondered if we were heading for a cricket score, but haven't shipped any more goals. Still 13 minutes to go. Japan's goal difference would be 5 better than Syria's, as well as the 3-point lead. It's looking very much as though Japan are going to qualify. Syria may still get there. It may have to be via the playoff route now. They need to guard against, of course, is losing out on that to Bahrain, but they'll be hoping for a favour from Japan on that score. Slice clearance from Fadley. Haraguchi. Nagai's ball in, it's gone all the way through. Not the best clearance from Faisal. Haraguchi keeps up the pressure and then thumped away by Nazmi. Sakai started the scoring with his goal on 35 minutes. 4 of Japan's goals came in a 25-minute period either side of half-time. Malaysia press back again. This is Higashi. Sakai. Higashi turning away from one challenge. They're trying to pick their way through here, Japan. It was Fadley who got in to make the clearance. Higa's throw. Final 10 minutes. Malaysia 0, Japan 4. This heavy defeat will certainly hurt Malaysia. They're most definitely heading for a 5th group stage defeat. Japan way ahead on the possession stakes, unsurprisingly. There's been no cutting edge at all for Malaysia really in this game. Now this stadium will host the playoff tournaments. Will be a 3-team group between the runners-up from A, B and C. Side who wins that then have to come through one more game in Coventry in England against Senegal to decide the 16th and final place. The Olympic finals, remember, 4 groups of 4, with the top 2 qualifying for the quarter-finals. Header from Hamada. Haraguchi. Nagai. Not really being closed down, and it was a poor pass to Saito. Fandi. Foul by Yamaguchi. Free kick, Malaysia. The game is up for Genki Haraguchi. Fair to say he's done enough damage, got himself on the score sheet. Been a real threat whole game for Malaysia. Kenyu Sugimoto is his replacement for the final 8 minutes. Short from Fadley to Faisal. Mohamed Ema. Again, it's driven straight at goal. Faisal. And gathered by Gonda, who's barely touched the ball since half-time. Disappointing, really, the lack of imagination from the Malaysian set pieces. Fair enough, they're never going to outplay Japan in open play or outpossess them, but one thing they really could work on would be their set pieces. They've all been driven straight at goal. It's attempt at goal from Kazuki Nagai, but well over. He's trying to find that far corner with a chip. Chase on here for Shakir. That's better. Good bit of pressure on the Japanese defence. Sakai eventually getting it away. Here is Sakai. And that's gone all the way through to Kairul. Sakai. Space here for Nagai. Zabir trying to hold him up. Nagai lifts the cross in. The header back down, and what a great chance that was for Japan. Higashi just didn't get hold of it. And Malaysia escaped just about. Yamamura. Now finally it's back in the hands of Kairul. Great piece of play by Nagai. Stood the cross up. Header back down to Higashi. Maybe disappointed he didn't finish that off. It's good awareness from Sugimoto. Higashi. Now Sugimoto. Touch for Saito. Faisal battles it away for Malaysia. Now Ibrahim. He's got some pace on him. Yamaguchi struggling to stay with him. Still has it, Ibrahim. And then commits the foul. Good midfield play in the end from Hotaru Yamaguchi. Thought he got away from him a couple of times, Ibrahim, but Yamaguchi just using his body to get in away and draw the free kick. Sugimoto. Higa. And again. Higashi. Sakai. Yamamura. Sakai. On towards Sugimoto. Mohamed Amer will clear. Well, it's looking a whole lot better for Japan than it was when they woke up this morning. Because of the time difference, of course, Syria played earlier, and that defeat to Bahrain couldn't have given Japan a better boost ahead of this one. No team talk needed from Takashi Sekizuka once they heard that result. They've well and truly cemented their place at the top now. 4-0. Higa. It's been an outstanding performance from Sekizuka's side, but what they have done is taken their chances when they've come along. It's been a degree of cruising since the fourth goal. But they will take a 3-point lead into the final day of qualifying. Tamil. There's a chance, maybe. That's just about all that Gonda has had to do the whole game, really. Just field half-hearted attempts from Malaysia from outside the box. They've not really broken Japan down. Bin Sarani, the latest substitute. The latest to chance his arm from distance. Nagai. Still going, Nagai. Fadley jumped in a bit there, and I think he caught Nagai. Unspotted by the referee. This is Faisal. And that has been spotted by the referee. The challenge from behind by Suzuki. Well, telling Shakir to get up and get on with it, the Japanese defenders, which he now has done. Still plenty of noise, not been a good day again for Malaysia. Can they grab a consolation at least? Sarani wins the corner. Final seconds of the regulation 90. They want a clean sheet, Gonda. Can guarantee that. Especially in a game like this, where he's barely had a save to make. 3 minutes away from it. Fandi comes short. Well, in fairness to Malaysia, I've been complaining about them showing a bit of imagination from a set piece. At least they tried something different from that corner, even if they did make a hash of it. Played in straight by Fandi this time, and there was half a chance there. Mohamed Ahmed just unable to direct the header on goal. In fact, he caught the ball so thin that it almost stayed in play. Malaysia replay Syria in their last game away from home. A game that Syria simply have to win. Flag up for offside against Sugimoto. Syria on 9 points going into that. Same as Bahrain after their defeat to them, so only goal difference separates those sides. It means that Syria will have to win to even guarantee themselves second place, although they will be hoping, of course, that Japan see off Bahrain. The way it is looking at the moment, you would suspect, if you were a betting man, that you'd put your money on Japan to qualify automatically and Syria to come here to Malaysia for the playoffs at the end of March. Well, there is the final whistle. Crucial victory here for Japan, and there's a bit of nonsense off the ball on the far side there after the final whistle. But a comfortable win for the Japanese, their biggest win of the qualifying tournaments, as the referee and players try and sort out that bit of nonsense in the end, I think between Higashi and Sarani. But this win sends Japan clear, 3 points ahead now of Syria at the top of the table. With this victory, it means that just a point in their final home match against Bahrain will be enough to take Japan through to the Olympics in London and qualify them for their 5th successive Olympic tournament. But it won't be plain sailing. Bahrain, remember, will need the victory as well to try and grab one of the playoff places, while Syria, meanwhile, will take on Malaysia, needing a win too. It is going to be a very interesting final day's qualifying from Group C. Well, the Malaysian fans have played their part here. Disappointed, of course, to see their side beaten for the 5th successive time in these qualifiers. Their dreams are already well and truly over. But Japan are almost there. Final score, Malaysia 0.